okay, what do I really want? Because I knew I really wanted to make surf movies and be a pro surfer, and I didn't know what that looked like. How can I do both? Like, can you do both? Can a pro surfer make surf movies? Well, I started surfing when I was 4, and then I really got into it around 9 years old. My dad was like this walking legend. We had all these surf shops, and you know, like he had all his pictures, and it was like instantly you want to just be a pro surfer. You know, he was so contagious, his energy. So I instantly was like, I want to be a pro surfer, and you know, I want to make my dad happy. And this is like the 90s, so like surfing was just so cool, and I enjoyed it so much. Like I love like Taylor Steele's movies and Jack McCoy's movies, and I really got into surf movies, and I had pictures on my walls, and like I was like, I want to make surf movies, like I want to be in surf movies.
This is the first board ever shaped for me.
My first surfboard. This was an ad. I remember I was like 3, I think, and I remember that was my first glimpse of fame. But little teddy bear. But yeah, I used to walk around the house carrying this board around, just be like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be a pro surfer one day. So as I got older, you know, to be a pro surfer, you had to do contests. There was no other way to be a pro surfer. So I got into contests, and I was like pretty good at them. I qualified for World Junior Championships every year. So I just like ended up on the QS. Billabong paid for everything. To be on the QS with a big sponsor like Billabong, like you had to qualify in like 1 or 2 years, or you're gonna get dropped. It's my trophy case. Yeah, my dad, he's a collector. He saved all my trophies and stuff. Big cash checks. $2,000. 4-time East Coast champion. Not a big deal. 1-time national champ. These fins are pretty dope. The internet was just starting, so my cousin Ryan, he was a great filmmaker, so we would just do funny things, like we would just think of funny stuff and like, oh, let's just throw it on the internet. I ended up starting a blog, and I met more awesome guys, David Malcolm, Jared Tallman, and EJ Collins, and we would just make stuff, and I would just post it on my blog, and it was like this underground thing, and it started to become so popular as the internet took off. It was like I was the only one with an Instagram. It was so weird. Like everyone could see what I was doing, but no one else knew how to like put their stuff online, because you had a code. You had to have like a nerdy scientist behind you to do it. I was a nerd, and I learned how to do that stuff. So like I started creating this world. So I'm like pro surfing on the tour, and then I have this super weird nerdy world where I'm just pumping videos out and just doing stupid stuff. So it was like Instagram before Instagram, but I had it to myself. So I was like pro surfing, and I was like doing like pretty good. The first contest I got 3rd. So Billabong's like, you're gonna make the tour, mate. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. But I like couldn't tell him that, because like I want to be a pro surfer. So I was like, I had this secret blog world that was slowly gaining more traction. So like this footage of Jeremy Flores fell in my lap. So I get home, and Dave's like, oh, look at this footage, it's hilarious. And like Jeremy, this kid's trying to get Jeremy to sign this autograph, but there's no pen. So Jeremy's just like, whatever. So when I voiced over it, it's like I made it look like Jeremy wouldn't sign the autograph.
Shoo, my knees, they sting. Go on, read some books. Oh, won't give me his signature. Wow.
So we like go to sleep, and we wake up, and Dave's like on the computer. He's like, I wake up, and he's like, Sterling, the video has 60,000 views. I'm like, shut up. I go and look at my Facebook. I don't think I had a cell phone. And Jeremy's like, why would you do this? I'm going to kill you. Like, I'm like, what? No, this. And that video just like exploded, like in the surf world, you know. And it was like instantly everyone knew who I was. My blog got popular. So I'm like still on tour, but like everything's taking off, and I started doing stuff for Verizon Wireless, like ordering pizzas on a cell phone, surfing, and
large pizza, cheese, pepperoni.
And all of a sudden I'm like in this commercial during the Super Bowl.
Does your phone surf the web without getting as much as a grain of sand in your shorts? Droid does.
And it was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, this world is what everyone's gonna be doing eventually. Like everyone's gonna be like their own media world. When I realized what was going on, that's when I like stopped doing contests, and I was like, Billabong, I'm just gonna do this. And they were just like, okay. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah. I was like, so I can keep this money still? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay. And so that's when like I 100% like me and Dave and Ryan and all day made videos, and it just like took off. So maintaining this world I created came so much drama because the internet was new, and so like everyone took everything I put online, they took it literally. Like I would write stuff, me and Laird, me and Kelly, and people took it serious, and I would get to places and they're like, you know, you really should. And I'm like, I'm totally kidding. And they're like, huh. It was just this strange world I was creating, and I kind of was like, well, how far can I take this? So it ended up becoming very stressful, even though it was becoming super lucrative. But I was creating all these dramas with famous pro surfers and famous people. People were hunting me down, you know, like I was scared when I go to Hawaii, you know. Like I became best friends with Rob Machado, and he was like my safety blanket. Like they won't beat me up with Rob, right? You know, Rob is like legend. So it was like Rob is in on this too. So then people are like, well, maybe, you know, like maybe we shouldn't beat him up. So I became just this antagonizer, but in my mind, I was totally like just kidding, you know, like I like loved everyone. I want to be friends with everyone, but I enjoyed the drama, like I'd have to admit. And then I hit this place where Instagram came along, and Instagram was just like one picture a day. Blog disappeared like overnight, it felt like. So I had no platform anymore. like a few years went by where it's like the surfing industry, like the money fell out, like there wasn't much money going around. So I had no really direction. I started making my own movie Gold just to do it, like put my own money into it and stuff. And I was just doing it for the love. And my dad passed away during this time, this very like important time in my life. And so like secretly I was struggling with depression, and I was like using fame and all this stuff to just not think about, you know, what I'm feeling. You know, as time went on, you know, I got like managers and I was gonna like make another big push, and it was just like my soul was crying out like, I'm not surfing anymore. Like I'm surfing for videos online. I'm like for money, for this, for that. And I just wasn't happy. Like I became depressed, very depressed, and I didn't know. Like I had a wonderful life of like traveling the world, but I was depressed. So it was like I literally just went home and just started from, you know, square one. I was like, how do I be happy? You know, like, and that's where I fell in love with surfing again. You know, that's where I fell in love. You know, family's so important. You know, I like back to the basics of life, and really that's the only thing that matters is family, is, you know, your connection to, you know, the greater power of all this magicalness happening, you know. So it's like I couldn't play the game anymore. I couldn't like burn out pretty much. And now my life is so fulfilling, you know. I have a wife and son, and you know, I surf for the feeling, not for views. Or so it's like a beautiful place in life. Like people, you know, like the material world, you know, they judge you on like where you are, what you have, and whatever. And I feel like so rich now compared to when I was at my peak, you know, like making a bunch of money, doing whatever I want. It's like just really like the simple things in life make you happy. And I just focus on that now.
No way. You having this?
Mm-hmm. Just get out of here.
Making fun of people is dangerous. And we were making fun of legends. Let's get straight to the beef. Down in a southern state. I'll just read them the whole thing right here. So I did an audio version. I remember that. I remember her.